Would you buy a flower that costs more than gold? You might be shocked by the outrageous prices of some flowers today, but what if we told you there was a time in history where a flower was far more valuable than gold? It was so expensive that only the ultra-wealthy and elite could afford it. During the 1620s in Amsterdam, tulips were an incredibly rare flower, making them one of the most coveted luxury items among the wealthy. The obsession with tulips led to a phenomenon known as tulip mania, with prices soaring to the equivalent of $1,500. Before you ask, it costs as much as the latest iPhone. What's the big deal? Consider how few people in the 17th century even had $100 to their name. Imagine needing 15 times that amount to afford a tulip without going bankrupt. If that doesn't put the value of the plant into perspective, consider this. $1,500 could buy you a sizable house back then. At the height of tulip mania, a single bulb of the coveted Semper Augustus tulip sold for 10,000 guilders, the price of a home in one of Amsterdam's most affluent districts at the time. The tulip craze was so intense that markets were established on the Amsterdam Stock Exchange in Rotterdam, Haarlem, and other locations in 1636 to meet the soaring demand for tulips. In many ways, tulips were the Bitcoin of the 1620s. Julius Caesar never ate a Caesar salad. That can't be true, right? It sounds strange to say that Julius Caesar never ate the salad created in his honor, right? Only that was never the case. The Caesar salad wasn't created in Rome, nor was it named after Julius. It was created on July 4, 1924, in Mexico. The creator, Cesar Cardini, was an Italian-American restaurateur based in San Diego, who also opened a restaurant in Tijuana just across the California border. While working in his Tijuana restaurant, Cardini ran out of ingredients and needed to feed a large number of customers. So, he created a simple salad by combining the only 7 ingredients he had left in his kitchen: whole leaves of romaine lettuce, a raw egg yolk, Italian olive oil, grated Parmigiano Reggiano cheese, Worcestershire sauce, lime juice, and a round slice of a nicely toasted baguette. See? Nothing relating to Julius Caesar. You can leave thoughts of the Roman ruler out of mind when you're enjoying your next Caesar salad. The fastest growing plant on Earth. You probably already know that plants grow at different speeds. Some take days, some weeks, some even months or years. But not this plant. This plant grows by the hour. Its speed is so mind-blowing that its growth rate isn't annually or perennially, but hourly. Its speed is actually measured in miles per hour, just like cars. What is this wonder plant, you ask? It's a type of grass that is big, strong, and flexible, valued for both aesthetic and practical purposes. It's the favorite food of the giant black and white bear. The plant, the myth, the legend, bamboo. Bamboo holds a Guinness World Record for growing up to 35 inches per day, making for a speed of 0.00002 miles per hour. This means if you sit in front of a bamboo plant, you could literally watch it grow before your eyes. Would you plant bamboo just to see how fast it grows? Keys to the Internet. Did you know the Internet has guardians? The term Internet describes a vast virtual world that drives our society. While it may seem like an intangible entity we experience, you might be surprised to learn that it has physical keys. In fact, there are 7 keys held by 14 individuals, 7 primary holders and 7 backup holders. They're like the Power Rangers of the Internet grid. These guardians are influential individuals and security experts who meet quarterly and hold unique keys to the Internet. The keys are used in a secret ceremony held at various locations worldwide, where all 7 combine to create a master key. This master key is essential for managing the central security mechanism at the center of the web. The ceremony is lengthy and precise, lasting between 3 and 8 hours. All 14 guardians gather to identify and remove harmful and fraudulent web addresses, as well as update the keys to the digital world. They are the protectors of the digital realm, tasked with maintaining its integrity and accessibility for everyone. It sounds like something straight out of a John Wick movie. Napoleon's Bunny Uprising. You've likely heard about Australia's loss during the Great Emu War, a 1932 military operation aimed at controlling the growing emu population in Western Australia. But what if I told you that long before this embarrassing defeat, a decorated military leader lost to an even fluffier creature? The Battle of Waterloo is often seen as Napoleon Bonaparte's worst defeat. However, it's worth noting that the emperor once organized a rabbit hunt for a feast. After rounding up around 3,000 bunnies for the event, the animals were released from their cages to begin the hunt. The only problem was that the bunnies didn't scatter in different directions to save themselves, as Napoleon and his men had expected. Instead, they charged forward, launching an unexpected onslaught on the Emperor and his troops. They nibbled at the Emperor's gold buttons and chewed at his boots. Napoleon struggled to aim his weapon at them. His soldiers attempted to fend them off with riding crops, whips, and sticks. They managed to clear a path just enough for a humiliated Napoleon to retreat to his carriage. And so, it was another well-fought victory for the animal kingdom. Alright, I know it sounds a bit crazy, but just hear me out. So here's the deal. Napoleon's chief of staff, Baron Berthier, was kind of lazy and didn't really know much about rabbits. Instead of getting wild bunnies, he just rounded up tame ones from farmers. Now, farm rabbits view humans as a source of food, and since they hadn't been fed that day, they were eager for a meal. Wild rabbits, though, would have quickly darted away. These little farm bunnies, when released, thought it was supper time, and Napoleon looked like a delicious head of cabbage. If the historic bunny uprising just inspired you to adopt a rabbit, or an army of rabbits to protect you, you might want to consider boosting your finances. That's why we're excited to announce our partner, Course Careers. Are you looking to change or advance your career seamlessly? Sign up with Course Careers today. It features courses in IT, accounting, data analytics, software development, and more, taught by experts in each respective field. No degree required. They also assist with job hunting to help you land the best positions. Simply click on the link in the description to get started today. The best part, they offer free mini courses to help you determine if the career and course are the right fit for you. That said, back to the video. Will's Store Chips and Ashes. The Pringles can is a defining feature of the potato chip brand, but it wasn't always this way. It was in 1966 that Frederick Bauer had the brilliant idea to stack chips uniformly in a can instead of tossing them in a bag. Bauer was so proud of what he created that he asked to take his invention to the grave. He made this clear to his family as part of his final wishes, so when he passed away at 89, his children took a detour to Walgreens on their way to the funeral to purchase a can of Pringles. During this time, a brief debate emerged over which flavor of Pringles to use for their father's burial. Larry, the eldest of Bauer's sons, argued that their father would have wanted to be laid to rest in the original can. Ultimately, Frederick Bauer's ashes were placed in that can and buried. A fitting tribute for a legend. Ladybug's insane defense system. Ladybugs look like the sweetest creatures imaginable, but that's only when they're in a good mood and unprovoked. Cross them and you'll see a different side. When threatened, ladybugs release a foul-smelling chemical from their knees and abdomens. The nasty hemolymph, rich in alkaloids, serves as a defense mechanism to deter predators and attackers. Their cute, intricate patterns, which make them so attractive in the first place, aren't an aesthetic choice. In nature, vibrant colors like bright yellows, reds, and oranges often signal danger, while black suggests something unappetizing and decaying. Ladybugs cleverly combine all three colors, making them unappealing to predators. With this in mind, you might want to approach the next ladybug you encounter with a bit more caution. Older than your grandparents. Nintendo has been shaping generations, from your childhood to your great-grandparents. Founded in 1889, the company's enduring legacy and ability to stay competitive make it a cornerstone of the gaming world today. The gaming giants have been crafting generation-defining systems for over a century, from the Game Boy and Super Nintendo to the Nintendo Switch and Wii. The company was created by Fusajiro Yamachi over 130 years ago and was initially run differently from the Nintendo we know today. At the time, they specialized in creating playing cards. However, as time passed and cards were becoming obsolete, the company had to find ways to remain relevant. In the 1970s, it pivoted to video games, a move that was instrumental to the survival of Nintendo and has cemented its place in the gaming legacy to date. Space cookies. In our previous video on space facts, we explored the costs associated with sending items to space. Beyond the hardware expenses, space food is notably pricey because not all earthly foods can withstand the conditions of space. As a result, astronauts primarily consume space-safe versions of familiar foods. That changed in 2019 when the International Space Station tested a space oven that enabled astronauts to bake cookies in orbit. You might be wondering why scientists studying the wonders of space would be so concerned about sugary treats. Well, when experts examined the psychological effects of deep space travel and extended missions, they discovered that astronauts cope better with the journey when they can smell and eat familiar foods. Those sensory experiences create a sense of normalcy, making the journey more bearable amidst the vast lethal vacuum of space. That said, this isn't an endorsement to sell Girl Scout cookies in space. Proceed with caution, sellers. If you found these random facts fascinating, wouldn't you agree it's worth a like and subscribe? Don't forget to share the video with your friends and leave a comment telling us what other fascinating facts you want to learn.